Hi, Sonia here again. So, a large part of this course is going to be you reading and engaging with academic texts and academic videos and materials. And so, maybe this goes without saying, and I'm sure you have all said this to your students in some way, shape, or form before. But it is crucial that when you're doing that reading, that you are doing it in a critical and deep and thorough way. We obviously all know that reading an academic text is very, very different from reading a novel. It takes a lot more time, more thought. Um, I'm often reading an academic text and I get halfway through a chapter and I realize like I have no idea what I've just read, right? So it definitely involves a lot more. So what does it really mean to read critically? And to start with, to be really aware of what you're reading, like who is the author, when was it written, to think about the meaning and the messages in the text, um, the evidence that the author provides for their conclusions. Do you find them believable, compelling? Why or why not? Who is the intended audience for the text and how do you know? How should the social, cultural, political, and historical context of the text influence your reading? And how might different readers in different societies at different times understand the text differently? Um, Really important to think about not just what is in the text, but what is left out of the text and who is left out of the text. Whose knowledge is marginalized, devalued, left out, and why might that be? Um, and whose knowledge does the author appear to value? And then again, it's also really important to think about how does your race, ethnicity, social class, age, gender, ability, or any other of your identities affect how you respond to the text. So, I mean, the big idea is to recognize that context matters when you're reading. And I want you to think about different strategies that you might use and to share some of those strategies with your peers as we go into this course, because these are going to be really important and helpful to you. For instance, one thing I do when I'm picking up an academic text that I don't do when I'm reading a novel, I'm going to make notes because that helps me. What I do is rather than just starting at the beginning of the chapter and working through the chapter, I usually pull out the headings and put those headings into my like Word document. And then even before I begin, what do I know about these headings in this chapter? Like I've really kind of clued into what's coming up in the chapter. After I read a section under the heading, like what can I remember about that section? Do I need to go reread? Do I need to go read something else to understand the concept that is within that chapter or talk to somebody else? What questions do I still have? So there's a lot that I am thinking about. So as you're reading, think about the broader context. And there are a whole bunch of other strategies that can help you to read more deeply. And I'm hoping that you might share some of those strategies with your peers now.